I was supposed to release this on March 30th, Vincent van Gogh's birthday and mine too. It was meant to be the launch of something big for creative souls. It was an idea rooted in passion, belonging, and intuition, and I call it the Worth Dynasty. A life and legacy rooted in your original spark, an idea that dares us to live from the truth of who we are, delivering our worth unapologetically. But I hesitated, and I hesitated a lot. Hi, I'm April Quast. I'm an artist and breathwork instructor, and I've been making art for as long as I can remember. And for the past 15 years, it's been my profession to pour what I feel onto canvas and share it with the world. Most recently, I started offering breathwork workshops and retreats, helping people to slow down and reconnect with the parts of themselves they've forgotten. It's a different path, but it really comes from the same place. It's a desire to help people feel, express, and come home to who they really are. But it's been really hard getting in front of the camera to say all of this. Today, this was supposed to be the one thing that I did, and we are 4 hours into the workday, and I've adjusted the camera, I've adjusted the lighting, I've adjusted my makeup, I've adjusted my clothes, doing pretty much anything I could to avoid getting to this point where I'm sitting in front of you. If I'm being honest, I've done a lot of laundry, dishes, reorganizing, and all that stuff really to avoid sitting down here and saying these words out loud. Not because I don't have something to say, but because I've questioned whether it really matters, whether my voice really adds anything new. There's so much noise out there, so many people saying the same things, and I've worried about coming across as unoriginal. Don't want to do that as an artist. I worry that my face or voice or presence will feel like a mask because I'm not totally comfortable in front of the camera yet. And I worry about trying to show you who I am and that I'll accidentally hide the very thing that I'm trying to reveal. I found this quote by Gary Brecka, and now I have it in my bullet journal as a daily reminder. Aging is the aggressive pursuit of comfort. This quote made me realize maybe I've been hesitating not because I'm confused, but because I'm craving comfort more than I'm actually craving impact. And here's what I know. Comfort is not where transformation lives, and it's definitely not where worth lives. So I'm here, a little unpolished, a little uncomfortable, and doing it anyways, because the cost is staying silent. It's starting to feel heavier than the risk of being seen. And so maybe it's no coincidence that I share a birthday with Vincent van Gogh, and this video was supposed to be released on our birthday to honor both of us. Two creators born both on the same day, generations apart, one celebrated now and one still finding her way, but both of us wrestling with the same questions. Because for all of his brilliance, Van Gogh suffered deeply, not just in the world, but in his own mind. He carried that ache I've felt, the ache of showing up honestly and wondering if anybody's really going to care. He constantly wrote letters to his brother, and one of them he wrote to his brother Theo. What am I in the eyes of most people? A nonentity, an oddity, or a disagreeable person, someone who has and will have no position in society? In short, a little lower than the lowest, very well. Assuming that everything is indeed like that, then through my work, I'd like to show what there is in my heart, of such an oddity, of such a nobody. That line hits really deep because I felt it too. That's the wondering. Am I too much? Am I not enough? Is anyone listening? There's a very specific ache and feeling of pouring your heart into something and being met with silence. I've known that feeling. I know that Van Gogh felt that too, and I'm wondering maybe you felt it as well. So this is where the Worth Dynasty comes in. Van Gogh didn't just want to be seen, he wanted to show the world what lives inside of him. The Worth Dynasty is this idea that evolved from a conversation that I was having with my husband. We have that, I feel like it's a common question to pause and ask yourself, if I only had 3 months to live, what would I do with it? And it helps us to really refine, it helps us to check in on what's truly important in the here and the now and the what's next. But another question was asked of me that I shared with him, and that is, what if you had 500 years to live? And the question gave me a lot of pause, but he seemed to know what to do with it right away. And without really skipping a beat, he responded, I'd build a dynasty. And at first I was kind of a little taken back. I think of Genghis Khan and, brutal overtaking when I think of the word dynasty. So the idea kind of gave me a little bit of pause, but then he explained it. He's like, no, this is about building greatness, not in a moment, but in a lifetime and generationally. One of the things that I'm constantly struggling with is this idea of worth, and is it good enough? And is it enough? And I remember watching the new Elvis Presley movie, and in the movie there was a reference to Elvis questioning his worthiness of being on the stage and questioning whether he will ever be good enough. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if Elvis Presley, king of rock and roll, is questioning his own worth, what is this as humanity for us to always be questioning when we don't look like somebody else? And so I thought to myself, hey, what if this idea of a dynasty, what if we're building a worth dynasty, a dynasty where everybody knows their worth, even and especially when it looks different than everybody else, when we can unapologetically be ourselves and be able to show up in that energy so that the world gets what's most needed from us, which is the worth of our individuality and our own perspectives. So the worth dynasty, it's not built on ego or empire. It's built on really an inner knowing. It's built on creativity, the quiet power of someone who finally understands their value. And it's a way of living where you stop trying to prove your worth and you just start living really from it. And it's where you recognize that most of your unique gifts are your responsibility, because the world can't really turn without it. And that's how legacy is built and a dynasty is built. And that's how life's really change. This channel's for passionates. It's for the ones that have a million ideas and a really loud inner critic. It's for the creatives who really want to be able to break free, but don't always really know how to do that. And I'm really not here as someone who has it all figured out. And I'm here to really walk with you. I'm here to ask the questions, maybe share some tools, maybe share some perspectives and experiences, and really be an example of what originality looks like when it's lived and not just dreamed about, and hence getting in front of the camera, and really to be able to offer possibilities that help us all to dream bigger, breathe deeper, move through our doubts, and keep us being the purest versions of ourselves. The version the world really needs us to be. I've had a really hard time showing up on camera, so hopefully it gets easier because I want to keep doing this. I was scared I wouldn't be able to communicate who I really am, because that's what I want to hold space for, is for people to show up in their own energy and in their realness. It took a lot of writing and scripting and thinking through my words so that I could have the words when they needed to come out loud. So I hope this gets a little bit easier, but I would like to invite you along in this journey, and I'd like to be able to hold space for you to create, for you to breathe life into what matters to you and bring that to life into the world. I'm still growing, and I'm going to try to get in front of the camera as much as I can without having it all figured out. That's going to be a challenge, but this is my reminder to myself, and maybe also to you, that this channel is not a stage. It's a studio. It's a creative mess. It's a space where process is honored over perfection, and every moment is a permission slip to show up real and to feel and to imagine and to be able to create anyway. I'm betting sometimes I'm going to show up with these videos really well vetted and organized, and other times a little bit more of a creative mess. I hope that soon I can be showing up with the creative mess more often than the highly organized. And if that speaks something to you, please stick around. Please subscribe. Come breathe with me. Come create with me. And let's build this worth dynasty together. Okay.